I've started recording. It's
How
just,
confident I am.
I don't know what you're talking about, stream. Nothing bad happened.
We started just this moment.
Yep.
And there was nothing prior to this that the recording will possibly have missed.
Exactly.
Facts.
100% facts.
Oh, fuck my life.
Hey. So, how we doing out there in Twitchland? How's everybody?
How are the people?
Yeah, how are you folks? Welcome to another potentially, and maybe, I hope, probably not, exciting adventure of Syleria Awakenings with a lovely cast here, who I'm going to try to maybe not murder violently, because I don't think there's any way of murdering somebody without being violent. So, anyway.
You can sensually smother someone.
You could. I mean, I did create a, Oh, actually, this is something your character might like. I created a dagger for an NPC, and I don't think the party found it in the Fennec adventure. If you guys remember the White Drakan that was with Giravan and Mudlark?
Yeah.
He had a dagger known as the Compassionate Dagger. And the idea of it is when you stab somebody, they didn't feel it. It hurt them.
Oh.
Yeah.
But they didn't acknowledge the pain.
It brought them closer to death. It injured them, but they didn't feel the pain.
Wow.
So he could actually stab somebody from behind to death, and they would never know he was there.
That's amazing.
That's so good. That's so Vander.
And you guys never.
Vander likes to stab people in the front.
Yeah, I litter all sorts of really weird things everywhere, and I remember that one specifically because I was kind of like, there's nobody in this group that would like that dagger, but I don't care.
Safe drive,
it's
Gummy.
Cool.
That is cool.
Come on a Friday, I can take you to hit nerds with me? Wait, what? I love it. Anyway, yes, have a safe drive.
It's been 35 months. No, 32 months. Yeah.
Shall we try to play some D&D?
Yeah.
Oh, I should get some dice.
Yeah, I remember mine at the last minute too.
We took all that setup time, but we still were forgetting stuff.
Yeah, I left my folder and everything in behind my open laptop, so I had to close everything down to be able to get to it because I just did everything in the wrong order.
I love that.
But
Thanks,
hey,
Scream.
here we are. Does anybody want to do a recap? Probably not, Vixen.
I did it last time. Did I not? I did it last week.
I mean, I can do it if you want. It was another one of those not huge amounts of things happened, but there was a lot of talking and exposition.
I would say I'd do it, but I wasn't there.
Wait, you were there last. No, you weren't.
Yeah, I had a friend from New Zealand come
That's
over.
right.
Yeah.
Well, so last time, after having a bit of a night's sleep, you guys decided to go out and get some breakfast. So you once again left the interior of Fort Falling Embers to the weird sort of makeshift market outside set up by the to-ings and fro-ings of the itinerant merchants. Found yourself some foods. And had even more of a discussion about where your plans might be taking you next. No, wait, you'd already done that. This is you picked up after the arrival of the beacon. My apologies.
Yes, and then
I kind of blurred together.
Frey hung out with me, and the others went forward, and we're trying to listen into the conversation.
I lost myself with you guys.
We decided that the beacon is a very showboaty magician type religious man. Who's just not it, you know. We just don't fly. Shapoobis, hi babe.
He also started smelling like a skunk due to a
that's true.
Very handy little handy cantrip from our little warlock here.
No worries, Shapoobis. Thanks for hanging out. For a little bit. He also said something along the lines of, "All is well in the summer realms," and we all called bullshit. The Breakers were also watching this event take place.
Yep.
And then, once the ceremonial part of it was over, the captain went over to talk to the Beacon along with Jean. And then the Beacon was, trying not to be a dick, but also trying to congratulate Captain Salt. It was quite strange. He obviously didn't like her very much. And then he started suggesting changes to the fort, which then Captain Salt was like, that's your problem, Altan. I gotta go.
No problem, bye.
Then, as soon as they flew away in a sprinkle of glittery light from the wings of the dragon
Rainbow light.
people. Yeah.
Took Ty with her as well.
Yes. We went and talked to Jean about my runes. So I was like, so Jean! And we went to her bigger inside house. And it was on the outside. And then we sat and she taught me about my runes. And we talked a little bit about runic casting. We had a very drunk cat by the end of it.
I was paying so much attention. I even wrote down the most important thing. You must always double up on runes.
That's the exact opposite of what she's...
No, that's very important.
Nope. I love the idea Vanta's going to keep telling me that. Anyone die yet? No one's died yet. It's close.
I'll be working on it shortly, Shabuki.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun today. And I have to use a foundational rune. Don't double up. Hold in mind the intent. That was the ideas. Hetty was embroidering us some lovely scarves. Lovely is the keyword there. And then she suggested where I could go to talk to other people who studied runes. But then, as we were leaving, we talked about getting some villain outfits for our villain turn that we're about to take.
We're going to villain arc.
Yeah, we're going on a villain arc, aren't we?
Previously on.
Oh my god. Yes, definitely previously on. Oh, thanks, Sage's Spice. No worries. Hi, Crane. Hello, how are you? I saw you went live the other day. I hope it was well. Oh, it went well. I can English. Yeah, and so we chose new outfits. Except Jean kind of chose them for us. So I think that we have to start with that, really. Frey has to choose what their outfit was.
If she chooses a new outfit of some kind.
And all I said...
To blend in a bit more.
Yeah, to look less like us. And I just said next time is talking to Altan and the next steps, whatever that is.
Yep. Whether you guys decide to actually pursue your new life of pretend villainy, actual villainy, or otherwise, will be entirely up to you. But
You are both.
did you guys end up getting the rest? I don't think you had it. Did you have the night? No. I'm trying to remember where you left off. I got most of the way through the VOD and now I've forgotten where you guys actually finished up.
We were just finished lunch.
Plan.
That's usually exactly the part that I try to remember the most, is where you guys left off. Brain's been addled this week.
I think we went back to our... Did we go back to the hill to talk?
Were we going for lunch? That was it.
We went
It
for
was
lunch,
just
right?
You had breakfast and now you're going for lunch, even though it was a bit of a late lunch.
Yeah.
And this was, because I think this was going to be the opportunity we could have for Frey to sort of show up as well, be there and do the thing. Okay, yes. So now we'll go back to what I was saying earlier, where you guys make your way outside of Fort Falling Embers to the makeshift market, find yourself some consumables to have for your slightly interesting lunch, to perhaps sit down and make some more plans, or maybe confirm what it is you're doing, try to get a better sense of what's going on.
We know what we're doing, Quinn. I don't know why you say confirm that way.
Is the cheese guy there?
The cheese
Fun
guy
of him.
is likely around, yes. He probably does a better trade around lunchtime than he does in the morning. So yes, he would definitely be around, Frey. If you would like to terrorize this man some more.
Killer man.
She's just gonna give him the stink eye.
Thankfully, over the stink of his cheese, he barely notices it. But he'll notice, and also depending on what you're wearing, he also will take note of your garments, and if you're wearing the accoutrement of the Keeper of Winter, it's just like.
It's even worse.
Keeper of Winter in the Summer Realms gets hated on.
There is a noticeable level of antagonism between the adherents of summer and the adherents of winter. Yes, there is a history between those two keepers that has it's flowed on down to the the followers. But yes, you may have consumables for lunch. Give the cheese man the stink eye. And there are very few. You go back to that same little, slightly raised area outside the fort that you were previously. There's nobody really around you. You're just outside of where sort of this makeshift area is, and you're far enough away from the walls of the fort that any of the laborers and constructionmen there they're not going to be within earshot of you unless they've got a crazy passive perception like two members of your party.
Oh, who could that be?
But even then, given that they are currently working and not paying any attention to anything going on other than their job, probably not. So, as you were, crew.
Who knew dried peas would be so nice?
You know, I think if we dried anything, there's a chance it could be nice. We should experiment.
Often the dried things are quite chewy though. These are just crunchy. It's quite satisfying. Thoughts, everyone?
Bender's curled up asleep. Or passed out, whichever one.
Do you think we should make the cat throw up? No, like get it out of his system a little bit. Just like tickle a little hairball or something.
Maybe we should make him eat the grass? I have heard that grass can sometimes make animals sick.
That's... How? What? Really? But, I mean... They're not like cows, I suppose. He's not a cow. He would not eat grass. I suppose that makes sense.
I wonder how many stomachs he has. I mean, if he can change forms, do you think that he has more than one stomach?
Is that why he's always, like, snacking? Because as he shifts between the forms, he's like...
That must be it. We should experiment.
Well, we still have to talk to Altan. Something to consider. And, we also need to make a decision on something else. Are we taking the cart?
It has been a good cart.
It has. It could be useful in some ways.
Maybe we take the cart out, we get attacked by bandits, then we capture the bandits and offer to sell them as slaves.
Which one of us are we selling as slave?
The bandits that attack the cart.
Ah! But see, the bandits are probably in affiliation with? Is that not what we assume?
Yes, but they would at least know we were keen.
True. You know what? Sure. I mean, I think at this point we don't abandon the cart. right? We take it with us. I finally got a really good handle on driving it, so I feel like, we'll be fine. We'll be good.
I mean, someone else could probably have a try.
Oh, no. I wouldn't burden you with that. It's fine. Okay. The other thing I wanted to float past, you two. And him, but he's asleep.
Hetty's just kind of sat down with him and like curled him up on her lap and just idly just giving him pats while they talk.
When kittens are like super limp, is he like that?
Kind of, yeah.
So we've talked a lot about talking to the father, yeah? Because we knew him as an active player in that game. But we also helped her. And I believe she was also dabbling in that game.
Yeah, but then she got caught, and I think that it exits you from that game very fast.
Yeah, but it means that if he is still dabbling in the game, if he's actually still a player, if we alert him now, then they will know that we are onto them, yeah? Whereas if we talk to her... She's out of the game.
That's actually not too dumb. Maybe she would have seen more. Because why was she being sold? She saw something she was meant to or lost something?
Can I do a recall on why she was being sold?
Let's make an intelligence check if you want.
Okay.
That was a while ago, both, in game and
and
life. Yeah.
Oh, feeling intelligent today. 19.
19. That's pretty good.
Very smart.
Mark.
So, a lot of what was going on with Delane being sort of sold was almost more of her part in the escape of Morius, and her freeing several other potential slaves had come to light, had come to the awareness of the slaving circle, and as a kind of a means of both punishing her for her perceived wrongdoings and keeping Claben in line or out of the way of that punishment and ensuring that he didn't interfere, they decided that that's what they were going to do. They were going to subject her to the same treatment. So it was kind of twofold. It was punishing her for her part in trying to be the good guy on the inside and doing the right thing, and Claben for letting her into the organization and trying to ensure that he towed the line as well. Because if the daughter was capable of this, then they did not want the father to be capable of it either. So it was just kind of a twofold thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Because, these guys are dicks.
Which is why I'm more inclined to talk to her, who was actively trying to help people escape, than Claben, who was doing something for the benefit of himself, right? I mean, yes, sort of his daughter, but the whole bloodline things comes into it, where it's actually in benefit to him because he wants his bloodline to continue like yada.
But the thing is that he was a player. He was a high player. She was collateral. Does she really know that much?
Well, we could start with her and see how much she does know. If only we had such a way of speaking to her from long distances. Is very... Are you sure you can't ask your god to help you with that, Frey? Is that not something that Keeper of Winter could be like, yes, I will transfer messages long distance for a limited amount of words?
Frey's gonna look very blankly at this notion and be like, see, if they were so good at doing that, they would have helped me with Sir Arthur. But
Yeah, but that's not that distance is through a liminal space, you know, like a space between doorways. It's like a threshold. It wasn't it because it was a dream. It wasn't. It's not like a physical like on our world.
Oh,
Frey's gonna pout and be like, "Don't think it's gonna work." If it would have worked, wouldn't I have gotten a message from like Winter or Glaive about their location instead of them just? She's just gonna get really annoyed and frustrated at that situation.
Okay.
It's a can of worms. I'm not gonna open it.
Okay, you're
It's
right.
just-
Okay, maybe your god is not specialized in that thing. What would how do we then? How do we get message long distance without it being tampered with? You know, like if we send them something through the mail, who trusts the mail system these days?
I mean, I have a book I could talk to them through, but I don't know how trusting they will be of it.
I mean, all you have to do is mention either me or Marius.
Maybe you could do like a little drawing of Frey, with like an oven on her head, and you know that would be like they'll be like, ah, that's Frey. I understand that. Or some kind of signature, some kind of is there a sentence that only them two would know? Does that make sense? Like, you know, like conversation between you and Delane. Is there like a word, a sentence you could say that could be like, this is definitely a message from me? Something only the two of you would know.
I think it would more be a conversation that her and Marius had. Because I didn't really talk to her that much. I just, you know, helped. But him and Delane probably have some sort of, you know, like remembering how Delane found him, or just
Do you think-
information that they'd only know.
Was there a name that only she called him?
Petunia. I do not know. I mean, perhaps you could write in your book to Morius. He is aware that you can do that, yeah? That is something that we...
I think so. I think I was able to talk to him before he left about it.
Right.
When we needed him most, he vanished. Could go try and, I don't know, find someone that knows her? Perhaps? That is outside of the equator?
There has to be a recruitment way. There has to be some way we can just present ourselves to be recruited as this. Should I write in my book? Did she call him Magic Man or Rock Man, or how did she identify with him? Orius. Didn't he keep like changing his? Things are very fuzzy for me. It took me a while to actually come out. Second had more to do with him.
Maybe that's a good question. Maybe let's see if I can find my notes on how many names Morius has.
Oh god.
Because he had a few names. That's true.
It was 4 was his
like-
actual names, but then he got some nicknames as well.
maybe I could just go, hey, this is a friend Boreas. How do we get ourselves into the slave game?
Marius
I don't think she
J.P.
would-
Thorazan Jr.
You're right. Sign off the full name. Say maybe a
Signed
source.
a friend. I am second guessing this plan.
Part of what I have learned in life is that if there's too much talking and the sale isn't happening, you walk. And maybe that is what we have to do right now. We just walk. You know, we just put this on the pedestal. We say that was our offer. This is our ideal thus far. We go talk to Altan and we leave town. And then as we leave town, we can, you know, reapproach this sale. This is a strange metaphor I'm trying to give, but the idea is that we're trying to the talking is not helping at this point, I don't believe.
We're folding.
Folding? fabric?
I think. Folding. Is that
Oh,
the
you're talking
same?
about card games, right?
Mm.
I understand. We're banking it, you know, for later. We're not going to put any more money on the table right now.
I don't like the idea of having a lead and letting it go. Because they are so shifty. They change so many things so quickly. If we let this go, this might be our only chance.
Oh, I'm not
So
saying let
we
this whole
brute
thing go. I'm just saying we
force
leave
it.
town right now.
So we brute force it, right?
So we leave town and what? We go sneak and see what they're about?
Mm-hmm. It's not close to town. We've got time before we get there.
Okay.
Right? It's like a week's ride? No?
It's to north. You're heading to where Farouz would be.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, you've given us a slaver's ring. We're not letting this down now.
Mm-mm.
No, it's fine. I worked it out. I think it's 2 days northwestish from where you are.
Yeah.
If you follow the main trade route north, the one going out of Cascorn and running by where you are now actually goes all the way up to the capital of Sunhaven, and Ruavant is in the hills just off where that gets closest to the Sunreach Mountains. It's about 2 days northish from where you are.
So we could grab Sir Arthur, leave town,
Mm-hmm.
start out, do a brief detour, but you know, also be near her to get her to the capital. Because that's
Did
where
we
she
not-
was going.
Did we not ask the other team if they were going to take her?
Didn't they offer?
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
That's fine.
At this point, the basic breakdown of what the others are doing is the Breakers were going to go at Jen's request to go investigate the last ambush site, because there was still a part of the Kurithnan's shipment that was missing from the last attack. However, with Vian here, and the whole arrival of you guys in Sir Arthur, Vian's going to go investigate that, while the other team, a little less, being a little less subtle than Vian is, are, given that they kind of had business in Sunhaven anyway, are going to head north, and that's where Sir Arthur was going. So the offer was there that they head north with her, while everybody else just takes care of their business doing what they've got to do. That was the general stance.
So we have nothing else tying us to go any direction right now, other than our own wants to kill slavery.
Yeah, other than your own little bits and pieces you've picked up along the way, this is kind of the main thread you guys seem to be following at the moment.
I propose we go talk to Altan. That's what I propose right now. And at that, I stand up and I pick up the limp cat. I can just carry it under one arm.
Ew.
Liquid
I
cat.
was holding that.
Good boy. And I that. Let's go.
So for
Just
the third
winging the
time
cat.
for the third time in 2 days, after having a meal and a talk session here in this little spot you've claimed as your own, Nofred is the first one to stand up and walk away.
She likes being first at some things, isn't it?
I assume the rest of you are going to follow after her. One of you being dragged currently.
Yeah, I don't get much choice.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, Henry will stomp after her like, that was my kitty. I was looking after him.
So you guys make your way through the little makeshift market and back through the main gates in the interior of Fort Falling Embers. Now, Altan did tell you who's basically taking up residence in the commander's office, so you'd been there previously when you had the talk with Captain Salt, so you do know where you're going. There is still, now that the beacon and the Vermithrin have left, it seems like a number of the training drills are sort of back in place, but you do have a number of the soldiers and rangers around who seem to be more, given that it's sort of that almost that midday heat and sun, they're kind of in the shade and they're taking care of their equipment, you know, polishing and oiling the armors and looking after the nicks and scratches on the blades. Some of them are even doing the fletching thing of creating some new arrows to replenish stocks. It's almost just kind of like that moment in between. If they're going to get back into doing some more drills and whatever the other stuff is, but for now they're doing the personal level of looking after their gear. I think it's Siamese, but close enough. You do see the stairs though that that are sort of been constructed to head up the side of this large orange crystal jutting out of the landscape into the kind of the makeshift commander's office. So if that's where you would like to go. Okay.
At some point, Vander would have turned back into his hybrid form after being manhandled like that.
I go,
He would have
wee!
wriggled himself out.
I've got this image of Nofret just kind of holding Vander.
She's not strong enough for that. No. I can lift a cat, not much else.
Eventually the drop would happen, but it'd be that moment of him shifting. It's like,
Hold up.
oh no. that cartoon Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
He's no longer standing on solid ground.
Okay.
So you you head on up to the new commander's office, where there is one of the guards standing by the closed door. She does appear to be of a slightly larger build, almost kind of like an ogreish, or Goliath, if you will. And she does sort of look at you almost menacingly as you all sort of come up the stairs, and just deliberately side shifts to stand in front of the door and just plants herself.
Hello. Very nice to make your acquaintance. Commander Altan asked to speak with us earlier when Captain Salt was still here. Is now a good time, or?
What may I say is addressing him, huh?
You can say it is Nofret Kepri.
One moment, please. Stay where you are. And she sort of turns and opens the door and just sort of pokes her head in, and you sort of hear, Commander! Nofret Kepri is here to see you.
Wow, never heard my name butchered that bad. Okay.
Hetty purposely moves like
Oh
two
yeah,
steps
Vander's
to
gonna
the
give
left.
Nofret a nudge as well. Just rearrange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
And there's this, no sound comes from inside, and then she sort of pulls herself out, looks at you, looks back in and sort of cranes her head back around the corner.
Again, shift.
Pulls it out and looks back at Okay, it says you're welcome to come in. No funny business.
No, not at all. Look at me, I'm not a funny person. And I walk
Yes,
in.
She's
Yeah.
really not.
I'm not
No
funny
funny.
either, and not funny recognizes not funny. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Sort of opens the door and sort of half stands aside on this little weird wooden balcony to make room with her large size for you to all go through.
Very generous of you.
A new Fort cowboy
Cowboy?
of the Tuvases tribe. The Tuvases tribe.
Ah, I love it. That's her villain name now. New Fort.
New Fort cowboy. I'm a new Fort cowboy. Okay, so you guys stride past this ogre soldier, who you can sort of feel this gaze of her just sizing you all up, because you're all
Please
smaller than
don't
she is.
size me up.
As you sort of go tromping past.
Yeah, we might kill you today.
And she
Penny
sort of,
gives her a big smile.
as you all move in, she sort of almost deliberately opens the door a little wider after you've all passed. Like she was deliberately holding it only partially open, so you could just go in. And then,
Thank you.
once you're all through, she then slides it all the way open and deliberately turns her back on you, but then takes a half step so she's in the middle of the door frame, so that she's in the room and can listen in what's going on, so she can protect her commander.
Oh,
It's adorable.
I love her.
Does she have a big quashy on him?
Oh, cute.
Who knows?
She's just enthusiastic.
She is, yeah, something like that. They've all had a bit of a rack up here at the fort in the last sort of 24 hours. They're probably a little bit more into doing their job than previously.
Sockhead.
Sockhead cowboy. Sockhead cowboy. But you see, Altan, this tall, lanky human with the grey
Blonde
hair.
heat.
It's the brown hair. Sorry, brown hair, but it's got like those little streaks of blonde through them. And he's just kind of rearranging things on the desk, and you can sort of see where he sort of picks something up and he shifts it slightly, and then it's kind of like looks at this, shifts it back. He's clearly not feeling at home in this place that was his captain's. He associates this place with his captain. Now he's kind of in it, and he feels uncomfortable trying to make it his own. But you all sort of wander on in, and he sort of looks up and just sort of immediately sort of slides out of the chair and stands up and walks around the front of the desk and beckons you all in. And then he sort of looks over at the soldier, who is deliberately now ignoring all of you while standing in the middle of the doorway. He's just
Hello, Commander. It's nice to see you again.
Sorry, one moment. Trina! Yes, Commander. A little privacy, please. I'm here to protect you, Commander. I know. But we need to have a conversation, preferably behind closed doors. Then I shall close the door, Commander! And she steps back into the room and closes the door so she's in the room with you. And he's just...
She is very good at her job.
She is, but
Trina!
she's also a little enthusiastic. It's fine.
No, Trina, would it be if we take and I put my stuff on the ground, if we just put that stuff to the side, will that make you feel more comfortable?
You not being in this room would make me comfortable.
Oh, but we were in this room yesterday with Captain Salt. It was totally fine.
I wasn't around to ensure that anything didn't go wrong.
But did it go wrong?
I have no idea. I wasn't here.
But Captain Salt left.
I know,
Looking
which would
fine.
ordinarily indicate that something went wrong.
Yeah, that was Captain Salt, not ours. It's
Alfred, I think you're digging a hole. Let's.
look, and I
Trina, please, just... I'm fine. Is that... All right, Commander, please, just... All right. And she sort of has that slight sideways shuffle of like she doesn't want to leave, then opens the door and just kind of does the... around at all of you before stepping, and you just hear the door just... It closes not like she's slamming it, but it closes with purpose. Like she's letting you know she's willing to do some damage to this place if you guys do some damage.
Oh no.
And you just get Altan with this...
do you think she's the kind of person to listen at the door, Altan, or is it okay?
She's actually the sort of person that if she listens at the door, she's not going to take in anything. She's just going to be trying to make sure everything's safe.
Okay.
Altan,
We quite possibly could have left her in the room and it wouldn't have mattered.
can you just scream out in pain? I just want to see how fast she gets through the door.
Just pretend you stubbed your toe. That would be funny.
We don't need to wind her up any more than I think everybody's
Aw, why
tense
not?
right now.
It'd be funny.
Yes,
Okay.
that's fair.
We are in a bit of a
I mean,
mood.
alternatively, if one of you guys scream in pain, you'll probably just hear her laugh.
I know, that's why I suggested you.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but I don't want her coming in here and clubbing heads.
I don't know. It could be fun.
Mm.
We're being sarcastic.
But anyway.
What did you want to speak to us
Sorry, a
about?
lot on the plate to deal with. And he sort of motions out. He pulls out a few chairs, the basic bitch ass wooden chairs, if you guys want to sit down or not. Before he doesn't go back around the desk. He just kind of puts his ass up on the desk, and he's tall enough that his feet still touch the ground, even though he's sitting on it. And he just sort of leans back a little bit, looking at you all. It's kind of like, oh, things are a bit of a right pickle around here, and some of that happened since you guys arrived, but a lot of it was put in motion before you did get here. I know that my captain is a little straightforward and set in her ways, and was probably not really wanting to help you at all. I guess my question is, are you going to pursue the information you got about Faruz?
Can I roll insight to see why he's interested? Like if he's
Go for it.
overly eager
Oh,
because
that's a
he
good
wants to get a
call.
word.
To see why he's interested? Go for it. Please.
I think
Should we have,
Nofrit's
like,
already
a
assumed he's a dumb guy. so-
God,
don't
imagine
know.
him having such a tragic backstory. Oh, God.
Uh, 19.
19?
Mm.
You get the impression that the reason he wants to know is he was one of the ones that made the comment to you about Faruz's past, about how he was a highly decorated soldier. You can't entirely tell his intentions, but there is something about the way he's asking and the look in his eye and just the ever slow slight tension in his body that tells you there is something personal about the situation. And given the fact that he's asking and has asked a couple of times and he was almost a little upset and unsure, there seems to be like there's some form of connection here between him and what's going on. What exactly that connection is, you're not sure. You can't infer from this, but depending on how your answers and things go here might definitely change his perspective on things.
Okay.
Yep. But there's definitely a personal connection of some kind, which is why he's interested. A couple of players do that to me, Pert. It was great.
This looks like
Ooh.
would you be looking to help us out, Captain?
If it's your intent to follow this up, I think I wasn't privy to what the captain said, but I cannot officially condone any action you might take against Faruz. I can give you a little bit of a history on him, and maybe a little bit of insight into who he is, or what he was like.
That would be handy.
Why
Did you
would
know him
you?
personally?
Yeah, why would you have this information?
I worked with him.
Hmm.
One of my first jobs when I was conscripted into the Border Rangers was to actually be a scout for one of his units. And I got to know him rather well, which is why I was a little shaken to find out that he might be behind this.
Disbelieving? Or from what you know is
Not
could it
wanting
be?
to believe.
Okay.
He's never done, in the public eye anyway, or to anybody's knowledge that I know of, anything even remotely resembling something like this. He's always been held in high regard by the people under his command, his peers, and even those in authority above him. The common populace always seemed to praise him for how well he did. He was a hero during the war that we had with the barbarians when they came down from the north. That was when I was helping in his unit. But I have to admit that after a relatively sleepless night with everything else going on and thinking about it, if I separated him away from the Royal Knights. If I took my own personal bias away and looked at him as a person, it's not impossible to think that he might have the ability to do this. He was always very good at commanding people. And the reason he was good is because he always found how a person might best be served in a situation. He would discover their strengths and utilize it. He would discover their weaknesses and mitigate it. He would pair people up so that they could best support each other, so he had one of the most cohesive units in the army. He was well liked, but he was very, very good at manipulating people into doing what he did. Not in a bad way. People always wanted to do what he wanted them to do, because it was always for the best. But you take a man of that level of command and intelligence, and you put him in a different situation, I hate to admit it, I could see him being someone who would be able to command a network of people that keep secrets from each other and is relatively well organized.
And somebody that into his job and that good at his job, what is he doing in retirement? Lots of people do not retire because they will get bored.
I mean, he left the army because he said he had grown tired of being a soldier, and yet, I guess it was the fighting in the wars. He hated seeing his men die in combat. Even though one of his unit had one of the lowest casualty losses. But he retired to be captain of the guard at one of the most prosperous mining towns in the country. He and his partner went there, and that's what they did. And it's not exactly a safer job. And that's where he's been ever since.
Romantic partner or military partner?
It
Was it
never
his first?
It was never really established, and I didn't ask. The two of them were always close. She traveled with the army wherever he went, but there was never any sign of anything more than that between them.
And she was just allowed along on confidential military strikes?
Nobody was ever going to question her presence there while Ferus was in command. She stayed out of the way, and she helped boost morale of the soldiers. He was always good to me, which is why I don't want to believe this. With everything else going on in the country at the moment, we just can't investigate this, especially investigating one of our own. And as the captain said, I cannot officially condone any action taken against him unless we have some form of proof. So if you guys want to do this, you have my personal backing, but I can't give you anything more than that.
What would you take as proof? We were having this discussion, trying to knot out what would actually constitute as not he says, she says stuff.
He's a very careful man. So anything you would have to try and find on him would be well hidden, well guarded. He doesn't trust a lot of people. Not closely. He commands people, but he doesn't trust them. But those people who do get his loyalty, he shows them an equal level of an unbreakable chain of, you trust me and I will trust you and we will fight for each other to the death. If we want proof, I mean, if he is part of a slaving ring, and he is the one that is in charge, there's almost no better place I can think of, at least anywhere around here, where you might be able to hide a whole lot of slaves hidden away from the general populace than a set of mines hidden in the countryside. And it's pretty hard to hide an operation that big. So if you could discover that, that might be the proof we need. I mean, I don't know how careful he'd be about documentation. I don't think any of his men would betray him.
No, not if he's got that trust thing.
Exactly. You would be walking into a group of people who will fight to the death for this man. So if you could garner his loyalty yourself, you'll have it back in equal measure. He will believe you, he will fight for you, he will trust you.
Do you know?
But he doesn't take it easily.
Do you know what could earn a man such as his trust?
I worked for him for years and I don't think I got it. I successfully scouted for him throughout that entire war, and other than the fact that he knew I was damn good at my job, and I did help save his life once in an ambush, I still don't think I ever achieved that. I don't know what you would have to do to prove that to him. He's very cautious. He likes his drink, though. That was always the one thing we thought was weird. For a man that was so disciplined and in control, he always enjoyed a good drink. Sometimes a little too much.
You know, this world gives us a touch of its own magic when it touches us when we are born into it. Do you know how it has touched him or shaped him?
Talking about gifts.
Yes.
Ah.
I actually don't know. I feel like this is something we've learned before. We've seen him in action. But I can't remember.
That's a little alarming.
Yeah.
I'm never really worried about it.
Do you recall any times of him acting out? Like, of him lashing out at someone, or just any bad memories?
Even when he was drunk, he was always in control. A little
So-
sloppy, but always in control. Lashing out, he never really displayed any level of anger. He was, as I say, it's hard to believe it of a man like him, because he was the epitome of everything we would have wanted in a commander in the Royal Knights.
Which to me just says he knew how to blend in and do, and that trusting, that very cautious nature, that worries me. That
Any
supports that he could, as you said, when you take your own bias away, the type of man you are explaining could run a very successful operation.
In any place, of any kind.
Do you have any memories where you believe that something should have happened but it's fuzzy? Or you just can't really recall anything?
I do, but they're not things I'm comfortable talking about, because they've got nothing to do with
No, with him.
No.
Any
uncomfortable.
hazy?
No, nothing hazy. I think the only time I was ever uncomfortable in his presence was when he ordered the ruthless destruction of a whole lot of the invaders from the north. But I mean, they just attacked a village. We didn't think anything about it. I was still new to the unit, and wanton bloodshed was not exactly something I enjoyed. It was about the only time I think I was ever uncomfortable.
So no fuzzy memories in regards to anything that has to do with him.
Other than the fact that I don't really remember what his gift was, which means, you know,
Okay.
maybe it wasn't that impressive. I don't know. Nothing springs to mind.
Every gift is impressive.
I'll give you that.
Did he often order, like, complete wanton destruction? Like, was that his kind of go-to tactic, or was this...
No, it was. This was in the early days, when the barbarians came across the ice bridge and they started attacking some of the areas in the north. There were a couple of villages that didn't have many people capable of fighting back, and many of them were captured, and deplorable acts were committed upon them. And when Farouz heard about that, and we'd caught up with them, he ordered every last enemy killed. Absolutely slaughtered. No mercy. regardless of whether they asked for it, whether they threw their weapons to the ground. It didn't matter. They were all going to be butchered. And whilst I kind of agree with no mercy to your enemies, it's one of the few times I've seen him so ruthless that it did make me uncomfortable.
Was it cold and calculating, or was it heat?
There was a fury there. There was an anger. It was an anger shared by everybody. It wasn't cold and calculating. It was, these people need to die.
For a
what
man
they've done.
so in control, that is very interesting.
Everybody's got their breaking point. I'm not sure what more I can give you. Everything inside me screams that he can't do this. But logically, I'm sitting back and I'm going, well, everybody's capable of it. I mean, some of the best people we know are capable of the cruelest acts.
Why trust us then?
Because you don't have the attachment to him that a lot of other people in the Summer Realms will. Because it seems as though it seems like you are actively trying to stop this when we are too busy dealing with internal issues to be able to do what we should. It's not that we shouldn't, it's just that we can't.
But if we got some proof, we could count on you.
Then I would make sure that I could get that to the king as soon as I could. And even he is not going to deny that. He's a fair and just man when it comes to things like this.
Hetty wants to roll insight when he said king to make sure to see if he...
Yeah, okay, yeah. To see what? If he was meeting the king of the Summer Realms?
Yeah, like whether he's being a little bit like, you know, when
Okay.
you say something that sounds okay, but you
There's
mean
a
the other
connection there
meaning.
that could possibly, have something else. Yeah, go
The
for it.
poor sisters, they're always gonna hear about chess and they're gonna be like, oh god, oh no. Oh.
I didn't even make that
7.
connection.
Huh?
7.
7? Nah. Nah, he's quite clearly talking about the king of the Summer Realms. Yep.
Totally. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely no reason to suspect otherwise.
I have a question for you.
Please.
We are discussing avenues of entry. Is there one that you could suggest or say provide? Is there a way that we could enter this mining camp and say we are inspectors on the king's behalf with your signal? Is there something along those lines? Is there a official position that we can enter and not be considered aggressors?
It's a good thought. The problem being, Feruz is always kept relatively in contact with his people back in the capital, which means official inspectors. I mean, there is the odd time where an impartial member of the Volanesta come down with a brigade of people to just inspect how things are going, but that's the only real inspection I think Rulvand ever sees. Unless you can pass yourself out as a member of one of those orders and the rest of you as a group of soldiers. Not really sure that avenue would work.
It was just an idea.
No, it's a good idea. I mean, even a group of trainees wouldn't work because there's no reason a group of trainees would come to the Rulvand.
No, I thought inspector because it would give us a carte blanche to be able to maneuver around and check in unusual places.
Again, which would work if you could make them believe you were part of the Volanista order.
What do we know about the Volanista Order?
That's the Kai Volanista. That's the part that that's the group that Wayward Leaf was a part of.
Ah, the monks.
The warrior monks. Yep.
Ah!
Yep. They are not necessarily an arm of the military, but they are called upon by the king on a fairly regular to provide unbiased, honest opinions of things and how it appears and how it is going. Yes, Frey, you played as one of them.
God damn it!
Yes. But yeah, they are regularly called upon to do things like that.
Hmm.
We can't brute force our way. We can't sneak in because he probably has so many people in and out looking.
I mean, even sneaking in doesn't seem like it's a good plan. There's lots of ways into the mines, but if it's not an active quarry, it'll all be sealed off. Even the pass up into the hills where Ruavant is dug into the side, it's a narrow pass. It's well guarded.
It's bad we
It's-
couldn't just wander in looking for work.
Well, you could.
Yeah,
That's
that's also an
about the
option.
closest you could do. Trying to go there in any official capacity, the problem with that is that given Feroz's still attachment and his connections at court and the military, he would be able to root that out a lot faster.
So are we willing to take a gamble and just wander in asking for work?
I think that it might be our best bet. I wouldn't want to risk going the official way unless we could get a proper seal.
Feroz is not a stupid man.
No.
And the first thing he's going to do if you go in there trying to be official is he is going to check you out.
I think looking for work is actually a decent idea.
What sort of work? I mean, would you be wanting to work the mines? Because I'm just going to throw it out there. And he sort of looks at you, Hitty, and a little at you, Nofra. It's like, apologies, but you don't really seem quite suited to mine work.
Oh, you'd be surprised what hidden personalities I have inside.
I suppose I
Right,
could
I'm
go
sure-
for a clerical position of some kind.
We could sell a potion.
We could sell
I
our
still-
potions.
I could send you to him with a letter saying that you are people from the fort here who are now seeking extra work, that the fort is approaching completion. But it depends on what you're wanting to do. The other thing being, it won't be going to him as captain of the guard, it'll be going to the mayor of the town.
Well, getting us into the town is a start, is it not?
In fact,
It
it
is.
could be even better than approaching him directly. It's much more low-key pathway.
Still an official position. I like
It
that
is.
idea.
But because it's not coming from the king, and it's a letter of notice coming from me, it's more of a personal recommendation.
Hmm.
And the only person he's going to be able to get in contact to discover about it is going to be me.
Are
the
you
best-
willing to do
it's
that
the-
for us?
It's the best aid I can offer at the moment. You might do better. You might do better without any connection to me. But Buruz and I had a good working relationship, even if I never got into his inner circle.
You do, but you also currently.
The head commander.
I was thinking more the prisoner.
That was also my thought. It's dependent on whether he is aware that you took his people in.
And even if he was, he's not going to want any connection to that bandit. Not openly and outwardly.
No. But it would
Hinder your
give
own
him
chances, I
suspicion.
understand.
I feel like he'd be too cocky. As in, no one would tell anyone who he is.
If he's keeping the network as secret as he is, there's probably a good chance that's the case. It's up to you.
I think second would be more suited to be recommended for work, but I like this idea.
It's just all dependent on whether he has heard what has happened at the fort to the man that he apparently, I mean, we could get there and it could turn out that the guy thought it was Farus and it wasn't. Somehow doubt it, but
Bruce is definitely a part, though.
he's definitely a player.
Yes, it's not the first time we have heard his name. And if we can have access to the mines, I mean, and if we can earn trust with working hard, I mean, we can do a lot of things.
I honestly can't think of anywhere better suited to hide an entire slaving operation than in a mine.
How big are these mines? How
They are
sprawling?
huge. Ruavant has been the main source of some of our ores and metals and minerals, including our red steel, for a good couple centuries. It's expensive.
Did a particular incident cause him to retire? A sacking of a town, somebody dying?
He always just claimed he got tired of the war and losing people under his command. That was really all I knew. If there was any deeper purpose, and maybe there probably was, I was never made aware of it. I was already out of his unit by that stage and working with the captain.
Is there anyone in the town that maybe has worked at the mine?
Ruavant, the whole place is a mine.
Yeah, no, I'm saying in this fort here.
This fort.
Oh,
Is there anyone that could have worked in the mine that might be able
Possible.
to tell us about entries and exits?
we've got a few construction workers that all would have maybe come down from Ruavant, but I mean, I've visited the place myself. All of the main entries and exits are pretty well guarded within the town boundaries themselves, and as I say, anything that isn't is either a collapsed mine shaft or a tunnel or sealed off.
Bree's gonna scratch her head. It's very strange that mines are being guarded.
Why?
Obviously, the ore is worth something, yeah.
With the uptick of banditry and random attacks and the pirates that we've got off the coast, the raiding, the pillaging,
Pirate.
right now is about the perfect time for us to protect our resources.
Pirates?
Pirates.
Yes, we've got pirates raiding our northern coasts. That's one of the reasons why we're having so many internal issues right now.
Well, so, forgive me, I don't really know how mines work. We move around a lot. What? The mines, the stuff out of the mines would have to go somewhere, wouldn't they?
Put it into the wagons, and then the majority of them is either taken north to Sunhaven or refined on the spot and taken down to Cascorn to sell out from there. But I think our trade down to Cascorn is going to be slowed for a while, so the majority of them will be heading back up to the capital.
So it would be a good way to move slaves as well.
Very good. Which again is part of my process last night. He's in a good position, in a good place. He's got the intelligence and commands the loyalty of people that he could be, who you suspect him to be.
His partner, did she have any special talents?
She was very good at, I think, boosting people's morale. Just being around. She was almost a circus performer. She liked putting on a show. In fact, at times she would even tell people's fortunes and just generally help people feel better and give them the inspiration to keep pushing forward, moving on.
That sounds wonderful. If we were to keep an eye out for her, what was her name?
Arena? Enika. Erina.
Wait, have I heard this performer's name before?
Which one? He just gave you like 4 different names.
Yeah,
Oh.
but like anything along those lines.
Maybe. I don't know. I can't.
I'm having like a little.
I can't
Mm-mm.
remember her name.
Don't remember her name.
Never really had any use for fortune tellers. I was always a bit of a by myself sort of a person, so I just kept away from her. I don't believe in it, personally.
Wasn't Theodore's partner a fortune teller?
His mother. His mother was. She's dead.
Oh,
She's dead.
She's dead.
Oh,
I'm just ruling that out now. She's dead.
Oh.
Okay.
It's fine. Theodore
If
was
Theodore
dead.
was still here with you
Thanks,
guys,
Emma.
he could probably
that
tell you
was too.
that.
Oh,
He's alive again.
I
Theodore
thought
had a-
I had
Theodore
made a
had a-
big brain.
Theodore had a connection to fortune tellers and things
Yeah.
like that. But it was his mother, the deck of cards, everything else. But no, unfortunately, the reason he has it is because she died. It was a big, big part of his backstory in why he was traveling is because his mother died. And he's trying to find out the truth about who she was. But Theodore's not with us anymore, so...
I
Yeah, no,
thought I
Altan-
big brained.
Yeah, Altan kind of loses himself in thought for a minute, and you can sort of see him kind of moving his mouth, trying to think through half a dozen different names. And he just kind of shakes his head and really can't remember what she was called.
Oh,
What
this is
did
the
she look
second
like?
time.
Red skin, dark hair. She was one of the foul-blooded. Very noticeable. I hate to say it, but she was very pretty and looked way too young for Feruz, but... Very
Is
enchanting
it, wait,
person.
hold on. Is the foul-blooded that you talk to? Wasn't there like triplets? Oh, I think I'm making weird connections here.
That's fine.
the-
I love
at
seeing
the-
connections.
At the festival, and Sekhet talked to the 3 foul-blooded sisters, right? Didn't I? Was it?
They
was
weren't,
I
they
also
weren't
there?
foul-blooded.
They weren't foul-blooded.
They weren't foul. No, the sisters
Oh, they were
weren't
just
foul-blooded.
They were shape changes.
They were later revealed to be changelings that weren't known at the time as changelings because certain avenues of discussion weren't had.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Ah, oh,
Yeah. Sorry to drop that on you now, but yeah. The sisters who sold like the musical instruments and were almost busking,
Mm.
they were part of the performing troupe of changeling sisters.
Oh,
And I deliberately put them there for your character, and nothing came of it. So you know. But
Love
I
it.
always
these-
miss so much.
no, the thing being, I could fill most of these streams with the things that you guys have missed or not done.
I would
and
love
that's
a Quinista
perfectly
reveals
fine.
all.
That's
Yeah.
perfectly fine because it means that I can just either use it later or forget about it and move on.
I'm so mad right now. You don't even know.
But I kind of do. I think how I feel. How I feel at the time when I set up all this really cool shit, and it's like,
Bypassed.
but yes. Anyway, but yeah, no, you can see that Altan is really struggling to try and remember her name, and even his description of it is just kind of he's distracted by trying to remember who she was.
So strange. Altan can't remember any bad moments with the captain.
Nope.
And
sus.
cannot
And the
remember
closest thing
this
he's-
woman.
The closest thing he's got is feeling uncomfortable about a particular command, but he himself was not really a soldier, so. But now that he is, he understands it.
There's some sussy gift work happening here, too.
There's some sussiness going on.
Mhm.
Which, if it's this kind of gift, would be so valuable in the fucking slaving
Omitting
stuff.
Well,
any information. You go to say something, and it's just like, oh, nope.
So I'm pretty sure the sisters also remember what happened to Grin when they were trying to get information out of him.
He just
Mhm.
he couldn't speak. He died.
Couldn't. Yeah, he couldn't say
It was
anything
a
to you
spell.
guys.
What a
It's
stinker.
like his memory, like he couldn't. He
Oh.
literally was blocked from saying what he
Oh.
wanted to say,
Yep.
and then he got scared because he couldn't like talk. Didn't he? This was so long ago.
Yeah, he was very uncomfortable.
He was very uncomfortable.
It's like
with
he
the whole
didn't know
experience.
he wouldn't be able to not talk about it.
It was a revelation to him as opposed to me, yeah, and everybody else. Mm-hmm.
Memory fuckery.
Definitely.
And fuck, having a king that can
Deaf.
do that, like fuck. Or even if it's his partner who steps in and does that.
And even if that's the case, suddenly a whole lot of things going on make a little more sense, maybe.
There is a queen. I told you, the queen holds all the fucking power.
I mean, I was gonna say on a board there is 2 kings.
Yeah, but they're like they can't even move that much. It's not even that cool a piece in chess. The queen is where it's at.
Quaven was one of the
Doodle-doo.
queens. I don't think you guys discovered who the other queen was.
No.
No.
Stinky Claiborne.
Stinky Claiborne.
Yes.
Super stinky.
Thank you, Altan.
don't know how
I
much
think
help
we
I've been,
have.
but
No, you have been very helpful.
If
Only dispel magic could help.
if he is what you suspect he is, I sincerely want him brought to justice.
So do
It
we.
can't go on, and I really wish that we could give you more support and more help than we can. With our borders being threatened, trade breaking down, banditry, pirates, it's just the ranges and the nights are just spread so far thin at the moment. We're lucky we can even spend the time to try and finish construction here.
Thank you for giving us your time and information, and we will be checking out more on him. We are impartial. We don't want him to be a bad guy, but he has come up twice. Which is once, twice.
I think hold up, the thought's gone.
If there's any more help I can be, please let me know.
I think we should go check on Tusk before we leave. Can we get access to the jail?
Can I ask why? Because I mean, I can come with you if you want.
I want to
Oh,
make
wait.
sure he's still alive.
Fair enough.
Yes, I did kind of make a well.
Yes, and it
Wow.
it wouldn't be that far off the course for a
Oh.
shadowy organization to have him already killed.
It would be very
Well-
nice as well, since the last time we went down there, you know.
I think perhaps I'd better let you know that he won't be alive for long.
Oh,
He and his remaining men will be executed at dawn. On the beacon's orders.
Bacon's orders, huh?
Beacon's orders.
He's in on it.
Fucking bishop.
He doesn't want the malcontents spreading any negative feelings around, and too much manpower down in the jails takes away from the construction effort and the safety and the security of the realm and so on and blah 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 blah. Fucking idiot. Sorry, I shouldn't say that about one of our religious leaders, but it's true.
That's
Petty
so,
prince.
so lovely to hear. I didn't hear anything though. Yeah.
But if you want, we can go check in on him.
yes, please.
Right. And he sort of just immediately lifts himself off the desk, brushes himself down, reaches over to the side of the desk, grabs his silver oak bow, slings it over his shoulder, hooks a quiver to his belt, and immediately strides over to the door, opens it up.
Oh.
Trinner on the other side immediately just slaps her legs together, turns around, leaving room past us. Commander! It's kind of like, at ease, Trina. Stay here. We're just going for a little bit of a wander. I will stay here and shadow you from the back so that you are safe. Like, Do as you will. Please just keep a distance for right now. And he heads off down the stairs.
I love her.
You know, I really admired you. And Henny's going to do some druid craft and do a flower, a desert rose, and just kind of pop it on her.
Like when you're actually gonna craft in your hand and pop it on her gear?
Yeah.
Well, the moment you start your craft it, she sort of looks
She's
at what
gonna
you're
turn
doing,
back me.
and you start to hand it over, and she kind of goes to take a step back, and you know the back of her, you know, she hits the sort of wooden railing of the balcony. It's like, while I'm on duty, I am not allowed to wear any embellishments of any kind. I am sorry, but thank you.
How about you just hold it then? Doesn't mean you're wearing it.
I
It
need to keep
means-
my arms free for any and all dangers that may threaten the commander.
Just commanded that.
Ah,
So you-
I have an idea.
Altan turns and he sort of says, "May I?"
Yeah.
And he grabs the desert rose from you, and he looks at Trina. It's like, this is a gift from one of our guests. And he reaches up and puts it in, you know, tucks it in the side of the
Cute.
tabard. And she looks incredibly torn. It's like, thank you, Commander. Don't thank me. Thank you, guest.
Oh, don't.
That
mention
is so
it.
cute.
Altan grins, gives you a wink, and then strides off down the stairs.
You should have heard him, Trina. He said the only great things about your service to him in the room.
I've only done great things in his service.
Ah, it's very evident. Walk down the stairs.
She looks very uncomfortable right now. Okay, so yeah, Altan will head on down into the courtyard and head over to the jails. If you guys are all just following, heads on down where you can sort of see that whilst some of the damage of your battle has been repaired, there's still a couple of people down there trying to scrub some of the char and the marks and the whatnot off the relatively clean walls. And you do see that most of the surviving bandits have been put in cells next to each other, because whilst there was one in basically every cell previously, somebody came along and thinned out their numbers.
Not threat.
So no, I mean, what's going on? Man?
It was you. You
Who
stabbed
could
a
ever
lot
do
of them.
that?
You stabbed a lot of them.
But Altan comes along, you guys in tow, and Trina keeping a distance, but still kind of fluctuating between being a little too close and being a little too far away, because she doesn't really know where her position here is. And Altan immediately sort of gets a salute from one of the knights down here, and he gives them a nod, and then just dismissed. Give us a few minutes. And just starts peering into the cell that holds the large...
Wait.
Overgrown tusk.
Before the guards go, is the crab around? Do they see the crab and they're like, ah!
It's the floating
The crab
crab.
would be on
fuck.
Hetty.
Possibly a different shift.
Oh, okay.
But I would imagine that one of the ones
There's like
that's
a
standing at,
rumor.
I would imagine that one of the ones standing at the stairs leading down probably saw it, went the same level of white as a ghost, and then immediately just got their face forward and just went.
It's the fucking floating crab again.
And that's
no.
possibly about the only reaction you'll get.
That's so funny.
As they're sent away, can
Yep.
I just insight and see if any of them are,
Spies?
more interested than they should be?
More interested in being sent
And,
away.
In the fact that we've come back down and that then they're suddenly being sent away.
Yeah,
like-
you can make an insight check to gauge a level of feeling from them, I suppose. Yeah,
So that's 10.
10. Yeah, they're just doing the job. You do get, like, when Altan first comes around the corner, you get that immediate, soldier at attention thing, and then you guys come around the corner and there's kind of like, huh? And then there's immediately back to the, nothing's wrong sort of moment, and that's it. Jesus. Well done, well done, Bender. But no untoward feelings. Just people doing their duty, and perhaps a small level of surprise at your presence here with Altan. But Altan keeps a respectful distance from the cell door, and you can sort of see that Tusk is sitting on his bench again, head down, hands clasped in front of him, and just head down and almost just there, but not really doing anything. And he sort of looks. Altan looks at the lot of you, and it's like, there he is.
I just pulled Nofred aside and I'm like, Corinne was unable to talk to us. This guy was able to give us a name directly.
That was because I cast friends on Grin. And he was muted at that point. Because I think he wanted to tell us the truth.
Yes, but what I'm saying is if this guy knew the name, would he not also have been silenced from saying it?
From my memory, the point at which Grin was silenced was when we showed him the chess piece and we showed him the symbol on the back. And at that point, he could not tell us anything about the symbol.
You started directly asking him questions.
Yeah.
And he immediately.
It was like he could say some things, like yes, part of slavery ring, right? But it was when the questions became very direct. That was the issue.
There came a moment. There was a particular question that was asked that immediately just made him go, and he couldn't.
So I think what we do is we go about testing, asking generic kind of overarching questions, and then we start getting a little bit more direct.
If we hit a direct question, though, is part of the silencing letting someone know that someone is being questioned about these things? Because I don't know. It just, if we don't want to tip him off, that is all.
I'm unsure. I am unsure if it is.
I'm just a little. I mean, I guess it was different because he offered us the name rather than us asking a direct
Extorting.
question.
Yeah, that's a bit different.
But even so.
And also, Freya Elise's spell did not work, her Zone of Truth. Which maybe if it had worked, he would have been silenced. Because it was by magical means, I am unsure.
But you would have thought that there would have been like a catch-all, you know? You do not want anyone who knows your name to say your name. I don't know, something is not adding up for me.
I don't think it's his name. I think it's hers.
Maybe.
We will let Venter lead questions along with Frey. And then maybe I'll ask some of mine, similar to what we asked Grin.
How about asking questions about him and then trying to ask questions about his partner? Trying the two separate. And then asking the specific questions that you did to Grim, seeing what stops him.
Yep.
Do you remember what questions?
Do I remember what question it was that triggered the silence? I feel like it was... I didn't write down the specific questions. I wrote, I quote from my own journal.
Help.
I gave you the biggest clue I'm going to give you, which is you asked a specific question.
Help me, God.
I asked what the symbol meant on the rook, and that's when he couldn't reply. As far as my notes, that's what I asked. Am I wrong?
I need.
Uh-oh.
And then Patrice threw him off the roof.
Yeah, Patrice is the one that ended up killing him.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Patrice was hot.
She was great.
Um,
Nothred has a type.
The Puma Felinor, yeah.
Yes, she does.
yeah, basically, like, I was trying to ask specifically what the symbol on the fucking rook piece meant, and that was after he woke up. He was super aggressive. He wouldn't give us the info. I cast friends, and as soon as he went to tell me something, it was like he was muted, and like it was like silent screaming almost, right? By the end of it,
He was trying to almost like force words out and couldn't.
yeah, like he couldn't breathe almost. But that was only. Was it the symbol? Can I roll an intelligence check in case it was other fucking questions that I asked in that fucking moment? But I'm pretty sure it was the symbol. I'm just gonna assume it's the symbol. We're going with that.
The only other thing that was a difference was that the fact that you had like Grin's piece was a rook, and apparently Tusk's piece is a paw.
Oh, he a bitch.
We don't
Wait,
have
who
that
has his
piece, do
piece?
we?
Yeah, who has his piece?
Jean is the one that showed it to you, up in the tavern with no name when you guys first arrived on that night.
Did I see it?
Well, you guys
Fucking
saw
can't
it,
remember.
but
But
yeah,
did I look at the
no-
base of it?
I don't think so.
I'm an idiot.
It was a white pawn piece. That was all the information you were given about the piece itself, and nobody took a closer look at it. So
Did I not take that off?
I thought she took it and put it in her shoe.
I put it in my shoe.
did you?
Did I put it in my shoe?
If you did, I didn't record a note about that.
Start asking questions anyway. I'll fucking look at it.
I remember Nothred messing around with her toe box.
We need.
That sounds so
We need
dirty.
That does
spicy.
sound so dirty.
Hello, Tusk.
No response.
Not very talkative at the moment.
You're gonna have to talk up, Quinn, because otherwise your mic won't get it.
It's nothing.
He
He's
does look
breathing,
alive
like,
though,
He's
right?
still alive, right?
He's propped up. He's doing the whole. He's sitting on his bench, elbows are on his knees, hands dangling
Elbows.
between his thighs, and his head's just
Oh,
down.
he knows. Oh,
His head's
Hmm.
down. He's just You
Ooh.
can't even see his face. You can sort of see the red fur on his shoulders and the tusks coming down.
is that
across his
just
chest.
defeat that he knows that he's
Even the
going to
first time
be-
you guys came in here with Jean and Vian, he was sitting up straight and proud on his,
Oh,
on his
yeah.
bench. You get the impression he is aware of what his fate is now. And he's got nothing else he wants to share. He was told he would be protected, and the person that told him they would protect him isn't even here, so he's got nothing to say to anybody.
Ah. Shame.
What? Frey's gonna offer. She's gonna say, "I know it's probably not the keeper that you believe in, but what's that thing that when
Last
people do
rites?
get? Yeah, she's gonna offer."
Give me one.
The filing cabinet. It's happening.
Oh, right, I knew where it was. I just needed to get it. I mean, you can offer last rites if you want. There are no specific last rites for the Keeper of Winter, so you can make something up if you would like.
Frey's gonna do her heart like her damnedest just to be like giving last rites. I don't really know what last rites really are, like as a player, so
That's all right. You that's all right. You can just say you're doing it, and that's fine.
yeah.
So you sort of got, you have to say, there's no actual last rites. I'm not going to improvise something right now. But you start going through the last rites, and you sort of get like, what would be like 3 lines in, and you just start. Finally, you start to hear something from the cell, and it's just a chuckle, and it just continues to grow in volume as you keep doing the last rites until, as you get to the end of it, he actually throws back his head and starts roaring with laughter, but you can see the tears coming down the front of his face.
Oh no.
Yeah. And eventually he just kind of laughs himself out and looks directly at you, Frey. Like, pray to whatever god you want. I was told my men would be safe. And they're not. So I don't give a fuck about you, your god, or anyone here. Fuck off and leave me alone.
Just wait just a fucking goddamn minute. Okay? I wasn't the one who promised you, so you don't get to be like that towards me. 2, you do fucking stupid shit. You get stupid rewards. And this is the reward you get. Now either you can answer some of our questions, or you can die with regrets. Ray's gonna sit down next to the cell, but just far away.
You
where
can make
he
an intimidation or
can't-
persuasion check, your choice.
I think half the team is like, what the fuck?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, make an intimidation or persuasion check.
It's going to be an intimidation check.
Yeah.
It's a nat 20. So that'd be a 22.
4. 22.
Yeah.
Damn.
There is just this little bit of silence after you finished saying your piece. And the moment you sort of sit down, there is a surge of motion from his bed as he just takes 2 massive steps, striding steps across the cell, and just crashes into the bars and looks down at you. And you see Altan already, like the moment he hits the bars, Altan's already got an arrow half out of the quiver and the bow off his shoulder. And Tusk is just white-knuckled, holding onto the bars, face pressed up against it, looking down at you. Just...
Ray's gonna just say to Els, it's okay. I don't think that he's gonna be able to do anything in that cell where he's rotting. Now, are you going to answer the questions, or are you just going to rot?
He, holding onto the bars, just kind of slides down into a sitting position himself and sort of mirrors your stance right up against the cell door. And he just looking at you, it's like, I like you. Can't say I'm a fan if you're a deity.
No one's a fan of my deity here at all.
I'm
But-
in the wrong place, girl.
I do not care.
You want to ask me questions, you can ask questions, but I'm not probably going to give you any answers because I know what my fate is. So one way or another.
Person that, the person that you're working with isn't going to save you. Isn't that great?
Part of the
Doesn't
job.
doesn't save you at all.
I was a bandit. I don't expect anybody to save me except myself.
Well, you sucked as a bandit. Now, didn't you? Because you're here.
Yeah, well, you tell that to all of the men and women that I kidnapped and killed. All of the loot that we stole from those caravans and sold on. All the many men that have better lives because of what I did for them. Better than the fucking king of this country. I may be here now and these few men might be dying, but the things that I did for the general population were better than he ever did.
Oh yeah.
You don't believe that.
Look at your karma now. You're rotting in a cell, about to be murdered, like, killed. Isn't
I-
that lovely?
I
You could
knew
have done
it was gonna be.
You could have done anything else in your life. Anything. And you decided to do this.
Look, the only regret I've got is that I didn't get to take my sister to the grave with me. You can talk all you want about how badly I did, or how much I fucked up, or karma, or any of that other crap that they tell you to try and get you to talk, or ameliorate the way that you feel. I don't care. I die tomorrow, so be it. If there's something you want to know, ask a fucking question. Don't give me all of this bullshit, and I will either answer you or I won't. Simple as that.
Ray's gonna
Straight to the
roll her
point.
eyes at the dribble that he is
Yeah.
Dribbling.
saying.
Yep.
And she's going to look at Vanda and go, you can ask your questions now.
Thank you, Frey. How do you know? How do you know what Feroz is? How did you come by this information?
What, that he's a man?
No, the party place.
The what?
How do you know he is in charge?
That's what he said.
That's it.
Side check.
If you want, such a. Would I need anything else? The man came to me, offered to train and equip my forces to give me a better chance than anything we had had in years. He became a light that we needed. He saw injustice being done to the common people. And sure, we may have strayed off the path and started hurting people ourselves. Unfortunately, karma does shit like that. So when somebody came in with an offer to make my life better, that and my men's, yeah, I was gonna take it. I don't give a shit who he is. I don't give a shit if he is who he says he is. I'm relating to you what I was told.
Okay. Did he give you your piece?
My piece.
The little pawn.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. That was part of the deal.
Did he show you his one?
I didn't even know why he was giving me one. I didn't know he had one. He told me he was whatever he is, and that's it. I saw no chess piece other than the one that I had.
Was there a symbol on it?
Fucked if I can remember.
You never took a close look?
I didn't care. It was part of the deal. I took it, I put it in a pouch, and that's where it stayed. It was white. It was some piece of a game board. I don't fucking know. Could have been rainbow colored and made of jelly for all I fucking cared, although then I would have eaten it. That
You
been
would
a
have
nice
eaten
meal.
it.
Yeah. I don't care about politics and hierarchy and shit like that. I cared about keeping my men safe and fed. So I did what was asked of me. And I got paid in return.
What was
You
asked
do-
of you? Specifically.
That I keep doing what I do and he would make it that I could do it better. That I try to make the life of any border rangers and knights and soldiers that came down here a lot harder than what it is. To target them specifically. And you know what? They started fighting back. And I understand that. That's their job. I actually respect them for doing that. But the moment they did that, we had to pick up our game. And it escalated out of control, didn't it? Do I regret things? Sure. But here we are.
What about your sister?
What about her?
You have a small amount of animosity to her.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit. You don't want to hear my backstory.
Oh,
It's tragic and it's bullshit.
but I love hearing stories.
Fine. I was kidnapped by bandits when I was a kid. My parents were killed. I was a baby. My sister survived. She went on and she became a really highly decorated soldier. I got to live a life of depravity and in the dirt and being hated because of the way that I looked. So I had to do this while she gets to live in the capital and be all high and mighty and earn all of this praise because she looks different. And she survived and she wasn't kidnapped. Do I hate her specifically? No, probably just the situation. But right now, I'm too angry to give a fuck.
Do you feel better now?
Still dying tomorrow.
I could die tomorrow.
Oh, good. It was a day in the life of a... Well, I'm a bandit. I guess you're an adventurer of some kind. You're
Of
not
some
wearing the
kind.
garb of a soldier, so...
If we got a chance, do you want us to pass anything on to your sister? Times, family is the only thing we have left.
The only thing you can say to my sister is I regret the chance that I didn't actually get to know her. And I'm just angry at her existence. It's not her. It's just circumstances. Sure, I wish we could have known each other better, but fucking whatever.
What would you have done if you had managed to escape this place?
I don't know. You live day to day when you can. Getting out of here would have been the first thing. After that, whatever comes next, comes next.
So you just live an honest life then? As honest as you can be.
I mean, look at me. Do you really think I'm going to live an honest life?
If you weren't executed tomorrow, I believe you could.
Little follower of the code. You make one. Just by saying that, you give me more of a chance than most of the fuckstains around here ever did. He grabs the bars and lifts himself to his feet and just kind of snorts and walks back over to his bench and just resumes his position.
I haven't had the chance to ask a question yet.
What, do you want an invitation?
No, I'm just wouldn't mind if you looked at me as I asked.
I'm sorry. You want me to look at you when you speak? And he sort of looks up and just... Yes, yes, Miss Noble Lady. Am I looking at you enough? Do you feel comfortable speaking now?
It's just last time I asked someone this, it didn't go well for them. So I take out the piece, the rook.
Crook, yep.
What does this symbol mean?
Do you remember what the symbol is?
Ah, I drew it. I drew it.
Look at that shit-eating grin. Quit!
Yeah, let's go!
Hey, look, there is a reason for most of the shit that I do, okay? Not all of it, most of it.
I feel like Beck as a player is basically just a counterspell of I drew this.
The chest piece on the bottom has a helmet with horns coming out and like
The fucking
curving around the
Minotaur
top.
horns.
It's the minotaur horns in a helmet.
Fucking minotaurs.
So,
That's yeah.
so you show him that, and he's, well, looks like a helmet to me. I mean, some pretty good horns.
Hmm.
He sort of, rubs his own tusks. Don't
Does
mean
it
anything to
have-
me.
Anything to do with Farous's accomplice, the woman?
What woman?
Red, foul-blooded woman. Do you remember her?
Never met her. No idea who you're talking about.
Inside check.
Go for it.
Ever had your fortune told
Huh.
by someone around there?
17.
Most fortune tellers run at the sight of me. 17? He doesn't appear to know who you're talking about. Like, there's just enough of a blankness to him where even though he's got kind of that sassy attitude about it, he's like, I don't know.
I don't know why people run at the sight of other people. We have a friend that apparently looks scary, but
Well, neither do I, but if this woman is a foul-blooded, hopefully she got treated better than I did.
apparently she raises people's morale. Makes them feel better
Sure.
about themselves.
Good for her.
hmm
Could have done with somebody like that around our place.
You know, it is not us that has asked for this next phase for you and your group. We said our piece.
Anything.
Or do you want me to thank you for coming in here and killing some
No,
of my
no,
boys the other night?
I'm just saying we're not all against you here. And I'm gonna like rub a little like red tint across my lip as I say it and cast friends on him.
Okay. So you now get
Says I have
advantage
to
on
apply
charisma-
makeup.
Yeah, you get advantage on charisma checks, I think, against him for the next minute.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
if there's anything else that you can tell us about that particular town, the mines, what they have there, it would be very helpful for us to know. And, you know, if you cooperate, we can try speak on your behalf again.
Make a persuasion check at advantage.
Oh boy.
Okay, the first roll is an 18. And then the second roll, I'll take the first one. And 25.
5. Holy shit.
She can do things
No
when she
purple
wants.
road, what?
He sort of looks at you, it's like, I can't tell you about a town because I don't know what town you're talking about.
The one with the mine.
Okay, there's a couple of those.
The fuck is the name of it? It's the fucking
Rovan.
Rovan.
I've never been there. Can't tell you much about a place I've never been. I make a lot of money out of the gold and ore and gems that come out of the place.
Mm.
Yeah, it was always a tempting target to try and rob, but too well guarded.
So, you don't send your slaves there? The ones you capture?
No. No, we don't.
Where do you send them?
We only kidnap people to try and protect ourselves. We weren't in the habit of recruiting slaves.
That's very interesting because you have a pawn piece, which kind of puts you in league with the slave ring.
Okay, there's a slave ring, cool.
So any of the people you were kidnapping.
Did they pay well?
Oh, you tell me, you're part of it. See, that is why we're here asking you questions, because yes, you were raiding towns, but you're actually part of something a lot bigger. But I guess you were only a pawn. Which is sad, because we would really
So?
appreciate any other information you have, you know? I
can't
think
tell
if you
you
have
about a
more
place I've
than a
never
pawn.
been, or people I haven't met, or a thing I'm not.
But you have met Farus.
I've met him, yes.
Did he have a gift when you spoke to him?
I don't know, I didn't ask.
Was there...
What made him... Did he trust you?
Fuck did you do to me?
That minute is so up.
Oh, that minute is gone. Oh boy.
The hell did you do to me?
Nothing, I
No,
put the
Fred,
little
I
lipstick
would.
on. It's okay.
You'll get nothing else from me. Leave me alone.
We appreciate your help.
Yeah.
Sad you could not give us more.
And he just resumes his original position.
He doesn't do any slaving, guys. I have
really
some
was a pawn, I
feelings. I have some feelings.
Do you like crabs?
Who are you asking?
Tusk.
Oh, okay. There's no answer.
I feel bad on Sicket's behalf. I would hate him to spend his last night alone. And Hetty's gonna put down Snip Snip just to like hang out in the jail. Maybe not in close to where he could be smashed, but just gonna pop him down and give him a little pat. And she's gonna say something to him in the head.
Okay.
Frey is going to look at Tusk and be like, I know you said that you won't answer any more questions, but I do have one. If you would indulge me for a moment. What is your favorite baked good?
Fucking last meal.
Oh my god. Badass Frey is still badass, even when she asks for your favorite baked good.
Just, you know what? Just make a persuasion check, because at this point he's just zoned out and determined not to talk to any of you any further. But that's
Oh.
such an out of left field question.
Frey's so fucking stubborn, so she'll like immediately just continue asking. That is a 19.
19.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a very... Again, there's this small moment of silence where it's like he just isn't responding. And then you just hear very quietly, I never really had baked goods. But you know what I do remember? Even as a child? The smell of fresh bread coming from Mom.
Frey's gonna
Fresh,
try.
warm bread.
Frey's gonna try recalling the bread.
Yep.
From the bread maker, and she's going to use her gift. and she's going to use perceive that sweet weakness.
Oh, okay. Shit, I can't remember what that does.
Selecting a target, you gain a brief insight into its defenses. You gain advantage on your first attack roll against target.
Ah, yes. Okay. So you create this bread,
Mhm.
and you
I'm
slide
gonna.
it through.
I am going to signal to Altan that I am giving him basically what would be one of his last meals. There's nothing. Just so he doesn't go, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah, just communicating that I'm
Yep.
doing this.
Okay. So you craft this bread and you slide it
Mhm.
through the cells, and again there isn't much of a reaction from Tusk. Just he's defeated and he's drained. Even the anger that he's had is just completely gone. And it takes a minute because you can all smell the very nice warm, fresh bread smell that's suddenly filling these cells. It's an unusual kind of contradiction. And when it sort of does reach him, there is this moment where he sort of looks up and he sees the bread, and he just looks at you, Frey. He's like,
Possibly Faye. Welcome to the exploration.
"What is this?"
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case you decide otherwise.
Maybe you and your keeper aren't so bad.
We try. I try.
Would have having a little faith enabled me to have bread like this every day?
I guess so. In another life? In this life? There's still a chance?
Sort of
That-
stands up, strides over to the bread, picks it up, sort of hefts it in one hand. It's like, well, here's to a better next life then. Turns around, sits back down, just tears a chunk out of the bread, and just kind of leans back against the wall and closes his eyes while just chewing the bread. Do not feel sorry for this man.
Mm-mm.
No.
Do not.
Mm-mm. She's doing it for her own mindset of
Yeah.
just in case. She's not gonna tell him what it does.
I'm not feeling
It's
sorry
just
so much for the
her
man
own mind.
for the life that he lived to get to this point.
Nah, he deserves it. 100%.
He is not eating snip snip.
God no.
You
Absolutely
would
not.
be best keeping Snip Snip away from him then.
Like I said, he was not in the actual cell with him.
Yeah.
See, if I wanted to be if Frey wanted to be really mean, she would have given him put on a happy face.
Made him smile. Yeah.
Yeah, Tasha's hideous laughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
Well,
Good luck with that.
That just would have been cruel. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just basically her doing that. She's not gonna tell him that there's
Yeah.
something. It's just bread to him.
Yep.
Unless he somehow figures something out. But
Yep.
But he can rot for all I care.
Good. Yep. Cool.
I propose we pack everyone. We'll leave in the morning, huh?
We're all done here then.
Think so.
All right. Come on. Let's head back up to the sunshine.
May
Altan.
winter guide you, Tusk. And in another life, hopefully, you do something different.
Maybe. Thanks again, little one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Altan leads you up and out into the courtyard. Well, you see, there's another small group up there. You see Vian and
Yeah.
Jean, as well as the Breakers and Surawatha, all seem to be there. Jean is pointedly looking in the direction of the cells, while the others are all kind of nattering. The Breakers and Surawatha and Vian all seem to have on travel gear. And while Altan sort of starts heading back towards the commander's office, Trina in tow, you guys can decide whether you follow them or go to the others. But Jean does see you and give you a little bit of a...
Give me 2 seconds, everyone. I go over to Jean.
Remember double runes.
No!
So just you know for it?
Yeah, I'm...
Okay.
Frey's gonna take some time while waiting just to get out all of her like leftover frustration from inside, just being like,
Plenty of training dummies if you wanted to take some anger out.
That would be pretty funny. Just Frey like...
All right, so you approach Jean, and you do see that the Breakers all have sort of their packs on, their travel gear. So even the Bard seems slightly more subdued instead of the flamboyant colors that he usually seems to wear. The Drakarn with the rainbow gems and the painted scales. The Goblin is just standing there and just looking around the rest of the group. Just like he knows that, okay, cool, it's time to travel. Let's just get on with it, shall we? The little Pugoi has this massive battle axe just resting on his shoulder, in his wee sort of little glasses, and sort of deep in a conversation with Surawatha, who is also in her Keeper of the Dark gear. With her own bow slung over her shoulder, and probably looking a lot healthier than she has in the last few days. She looks like she's finally managed to shake off the malaise. But as you approach, Jean sort of looks over at the rest of them. It's like, oh, I figured we'd probably just let you know. I think all of our friends are going to be leaving. About now.
Oh, the boredom breakers are leaving town.
Yes, dear, it's the ball breakers.
I heard different.
I'm sure you did.
Look, Jean, we were just talking to our friend downstairs.
Oh.
And I know you have acquired the piece in which he had.
Right.
I just wanted to know if there was something on the bottom of it. That is all.
I'll have to go check.
Okay,
I've
well
got
maybe
it
we
with
can
me.
do that after we say goodbye to our friends.
What would have been on the bottom of it?
Well, we'll see. Maybe just some simple. I want to see if it lines up with something else.
Fair enough.
Frey, stop punching the dummy. Come here.
a lot of swearing.
Yeah, and you get a lot of the soldiers
multiple...
who are sort of cleared a space for you around the dummy because of the sheer level of ferocity and intensity. And the little gnome is showing, smacking the fuck out of this training dummy.
Next thing she'll call it Moonbeam Down. That'd be pretty good.
It's the moon.
But you head on over, and as you do, Surawatha sees you and charges on over and intercepts you halfway through, just throwing herself at you in a hug.
Oh, immediate phrase, frustrated, just goes.
Yeah.
She just gives a hug.
Yeah. And when she sort of pulls away and looks at you, she's got this big grin on her face. And it's tinged with this little bit of this small little bit of sadness. It's like, it, it seems like we're going to head off. Now.
Off on your own
Uh,
adventure.
Yeah, not alone though, from the looks of it.
Mm-hmm.
At least not for a while. Uh, so yeah. Thank you, Frey.
Frey's gonna tap her on the shoulder and be like, stay safe and don't get into any more slumbers, huh?
Well, I can't guarantee the staying safe part, but as far as getting into slumbers, when I do, I'm pretty sure my keeper can look after me now.
Good.
Thanks to you and yours.
Enjoy your adventure.
Time to go do some recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some people to go see.
Wish you the best of luck.
And you too. I mean it, Frey. Thank you for everything, and it's not just from me. It's from Onira too.
Frey's gonna point at Hetty, Vander, and Nofred. These guys are to thank as well.
They're all sort of scattered out, and she's kind of like, yeah, them too.
Mm-hmm.
Got yourself some good friends, Frey. And she sort of hesitates for a moment and places a hand out and puts it on your chest. And you see her eyes go dark, and the little sort of stars start drifting across, kind of like you saw in Onira's eyes. And as she does, there's sort of like this, almost like that black light glow that sort of suffuses out of her hand and into you. And when she sort of pulls it away and blinks and her eyes go back to normal, she's like, a gift for later. Hopefully the dark can look after you.
Thank you.
And she goes to hug you again.
Frey's gonna hug again.
And then she sort of reluctantly lets go before just giving you one more smile and then bouncing over to the other group who have all sort of started saying their goodbyes to Jean and Vian. Nofrit, with you being there, and I guess Frey would be joining as well. You see Vian's got on her, how you first met her in Cascorn. She's got on her black cloak.
Let's go!
With the hood down. And she's sort of got, no other real weapons, but you can tell she's got a small sack sort of slung over one shoulder. And she sort of looks at the pointedly ignoring the other group, despite the fact that the Drakan seems to be sort of sidling closer and closer to her. And she sort of looks over at the two of you and sort of looks over at the others sort of retreating. It's like, well, say goodbye to your friends for me. I'm going to go see if I can find this missing shipment.
Oh,
And,
you're leaving now?
I'm going to go now. I mean, there's nothing else keeping me here. I may as well get a head start. The longer I leave it, the harder it's going to be to find it. And you know what? If you guys are going to be, she looks around, pursuing what's going on, and the things that we suspect line up, who knows? I might be seeing you in a certain town very soon.
I hope.
I'd say stay out of trouble, but we both know that's not going to happen.
We met in trouble, and we will probably stay that way for a little longer.
All right. It's been fun. And she flicks her hood up and just walks over to Jean, and Jean sort of comes down and they bump foreheads. Yeah, before she sort of looks and is like, all right, have fun, you fuckers, and turns around and walks off.
Yeah,
She's
hope
good.
to see you.
She's
Oh, okay.
Yep. She just,
Cool.
without turning around. And you sort of see the rest of the brace go, oh, well, that was abrupt.
She,
got
she's not
much one
always.
for goodbyes.
Oh, okay. It's not just
Yeah.
like anyone in particular thing. It's just.
No, just not one for goodbyes. And then she sort of looks at the Drakan and, Pugoi and the Goblin and the small waif girl in the white dress sort of all look at the Drakan. She's like, Art! And they sort of shake their head and begin kind of having this little chuckle to themselves. Like, obviously she's just trying to get away from him as soon as possible. Yeah. And so they sort of all shoulder their things, and they've all got a bit of equipment. The Pugoi doesn't seem to have much. The Goblin's got on a fairly large sack for something the size that he is. The Drakar's got multiple instruments and dangly things hanging off, just all designed to make noise and draw attention. And the small girl with the white dress just doesn't appear to be carrying anything with her. In fact, she's barefoot in the white dress, and that's it. She's got no weapons, no armor, no backpack, just ready to go. And so the Breakers and Surawatha sort of take one last look at the lot of you. It's like, well, safe travels. And good luck with whatever your future ventures are, and who knows? Maybe we'll run into each other sometime down the track. And the Goblin's like, yeah, maybe we will, maybe we won't. Let's just go, shall we?
Freya's
know-
gonna say before, keep her safe.
And the Pugoi and the Drakarn, both those sort of, we will. Yeah, so you can count on us. And even the girl in the white dress sort of walks on over at that to Surawatha and just kind of hugs her before sort of letting go, and then looking at you, and then she just comes over and gives you this almost uncomfortable sort of draping around you hug before just patting you on the shoulder and then turning and sort of walking back to the rest of the group. She's got this very awkward demeanor about her. She hasn't said a word the whole time you guys have known her either.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Very much the odd one out in a group of oddities. And the Breakers and Surawatha with her final sort of wave, set off out the southern gate of Fort Falling Embers as well, until it is just yourselves and Jean.
And then there was 5.
Talking with our friend down below again, were you?
Yeah. Seeing if we could get anything else out, but it very much seems
luck.
like he was a pawn, not a player.
So it would seem. I'll go grab that piece now, shall I?
Yeah, thank you.
She sort of trundles off to her little, bigger on the inside abode. And I don't know if you're
tea.
staying put.
Yeah, we're just in the courtyard, but
She will return a handful of minutes later with the white pawn piece and hand it over to you for inspection.
is it got the same symbol on the bottom?
It does.
Is there anything else different about it?
Nope.
Is it the same color?
It's white. It's a white pawn piece.
And the one we have, white rook.
She's got a black rook.
It's a black rook, but they're the same symbol, which is
Yep.
interesting.
Can I just do a quick insight check on her?
All the insight checks today. Sure. What are you insight checking?
That she's not playing us. That she actually got that piece off him.
Oh, okay.
Because
Ooh.
all we know is that she got that piece.
Mm,
Then she said she found it on him.
right. Okay. Yeah. Go for it.
And when Nofret said, it seems he was just a pawn because he knows nothing about the slaving side of stuff,
No.
whereas
Doesn't,
she
doesn't
does.
seem to. No. Yeah.
That's because she's working in combination with Kareth Nan, though. Is the
Yeah,
thought.
true. A dirty 20.
Dirty 20. She just, I mean, she sort of presented the information as she had it, and
Who have I
Whether
shown
there's-
the symbol
whether
to?
there's an ulterior motive or not, you can't discern one. It just, she does seem hell bent on, well, not hell bent, but she does seem keen on trying to get the person who is in charge of this sorted out, figured out, and dealt with. But
Did we ask her how she came across the spy ring? Because
It was a matter of the fact that Kareth Nan were well aware of it, and she is relatively good most of the time at gathering information. So while she's not necessarily in charge of anything, she is definitely here keeping an eye out because there's so much traffic and people going to and from this place. It's a good place to keep an eye out for things like that. Even though there's a heavy military presence, they can't keep their eye on everything. And she's very good at keeping her eye on things. So she knows because it's of interest to Kirith Nan, which I'm annoyed because
Okay.
I just forgot to do a farewell between Jean and Vian properly. But that's okay.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Heck.
Would I have
It's all right.
made
It
Wilfred
was
jealous?
But no, it was going to be Vian. Shit, I've forgotten that.
You can always do a rewind and we can say it happened.
Mhm.
Yeah, just as they bumped foreheads, it was supposed to be Vian saying, you know, we keep fighting our fate. And and Jean replies, you know, until twilight is over and the sun rises on a new world.
That's cute.
That's beautiful. Wilfred would have been very jealous.
Yeah. So I was like, shit, I fucking forgot. Yeah. But anyway. But yeah, no, Jean just seems like she's more intent on trying to get to the bottom of this and sorting out yet another problem.
So
And
it's a
yeah,
knowledge sort rather than
kind
being
of like
sneaky.
the same academic thing she had with Nofrit's runes. It piques an interest and she's trying to sort something out. She's trying to put the puzzle pieces together so that somebody else can go deal with it because that's not her job. she's the information person.
I collect the information, you go do
Yeah,
the thing.
she's the tinkerer and the information person. But yeah.
Does this symbol mean anything to you, Jean?
I mean, I did wonder that, but I mean, all I can say is it looks like a plate helmet with a set of horns on it. There's no greater meaning I can ascertain to anything. I mean, even having a look through certain books, it's not a symbol associated with any order or keeper or faith or guild that I'm aware of. I can't find anything that it means linked to anything else.
Well,
I mean,
at
if
least
anything
we
else,
can
I would
ascertain
wager-
they are from the same chessboard.
The only thing I can ascertain is that perhaps it's a marking of whoever is in charge of this. But given that there's no other information that I can find about what it represents, I'm still as in the dark about that as, well, I was a few days ago.
You have
I mean,
means with communicating with us if we leave here.
Within a short distance, yes, but she gave you a stone, didn't she? But that was for
Yeah,
contacting guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can contact her with it,
Yeah.
but it's more practical to contact Geis from Kirith Nan because he has the ability to translate and relay messages because of his gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that'd be a helpful gift.
That would be
Yeah.
so fucking helpful.
He's like a telecommunication device all on his own.
He's like a switchboard, you know,
That's-
old phones.
That's why he's so high up in the order in the guild, you know.
Because everyone finds him convenient.
Poor buddy.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
just-
mean, he would know everything though. Like for
He passed
someone
on all the
who,
information. Yep.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
for someone who loves
Excellent.
knowledge.
Really good
Mhm.
candidate for the slave guild to convert. How
Yeah,
much do you
too.
trust him?
Suspect everyone.
He know all
We're
the
gonna have to go
gossip
kill
as
him.
well.
The
What was that, Fred?
only
He'd know all the gossip.
Hmm?
He would. Because he's
Yeah, my
listening
brother.
in at the switchboard, like, oh my god.
Oh my God, that's tea. Oh,
Juicy. Oh. All right. So, how are you? You guys wanting to sort yourself out and have a night and then get ready to leave in the morning?
I mean, they're leaving now.
your hands.
You
we
can
just
leave
leave
now if you'd
now?
like.
Yeah, can we just?
Totally
Go.
can.
Yep. If you want to up and leave now, it's entirely up to
Is-
you. I just figured I'd give you the opportunity for another night
Sounds
here
like
if
the
you want.
fort is very comfortable. They're, we're all squishing into one room.
Is this going to be one of those situations where you say goodbye to someone and then you walk down the same path as them and it's a little awkward? Then you have to
Traveling
like
this
say
way
goodbye
anyway.
again.
I mean, to be fair, the road to Sunhaven that the Breakers are traveling down is the same road you guys would be traveling down to head to Ruavant for a while.
Excellent.
So,
So yes.
yeah.
So maybe we wait till morning.
Nah. It's funnier.
Okay. We'll just
Maybe we
follow
give them
along.
like a 10-minute head start.
Yeah. Sounds good.
But we have a car.
Why don't we go get some travel rations? I'm pretty sure we haven't topped back up our rations.
I'm pretty sure we have been to the supermarket 4 times today and have not topped up our travel rations yet.
And I'm still hungry.
Okay.
I don't need to
That
have
is the
rations.
alcohol talking.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I say to Jean that perhaps she could show Altan the symbol, because maybe it's something that we as scholars wouldn't know, but soldiers might. I kind of just suggest that, and if she hears from him that he has any information, just pass it on to us somehow. That's my only suggestion.
You would say that, and she would get like this cheeky grin on her face. It's like, I'm going to go interrupt whatever he's doing right now.
Oh, great! No, great idea.
Yep.
Tell the lady that's guarding him that we said
Oh, Trina.
hello. Trina, yeah, tell her we said hello. She's doing great.
Oh,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
love that. And so she
Also,
does.
comment on her flower.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
it would
point
give her
that
a
out.
boost of confidence.
Trina
It's
with a
very
flower. Oh,
beautiful.
now this I have to see.
We're such shitbags. Okay.
It's great that I give you a lot of NPCs that are also shitbags, or great ones to,
Give ammunition.
be shitbags
Oh my
too.
My alerts are just freaking going crazy over each other.
Oh, all right.
Hello,
Yeah.
seriously, Shay. Lovely. Sheila, lovely. How was your cooking stream? Hi, Tay. Hi, Tiny. T9000. Welcome. Hello, Raiders.
So yeah, Jean's going to bounce
Really?
off to hassle Trina and Altan. And if you guys want to top up rations before heading off, you can.
Welcome to the Bexploration, where we go get rations at the market. Welcome. Hi.
You say it
hi,
like
Sheila.
that, but Quinn does make us cross them off,
Yes.
and I don't want to run out.
We don't want to run
I
out.
do. You are very correct. I do try to make it so that you guys
Actually have to do
manage. Yeah.
I've only got 6 days worth of rations left.
I'm not highly resource intensive like a proper resource game, but I would like for people to understand
really
that
great.
their fictional
How
character needs fictional
How
food.
many? This
Uh-huh.
is a D&D stream, by the way,
You know what's
Creo.
really great about me? I have
Eventually.
a baked good that I can have that works as a good berry.
Yep, you do.
I
You're
only
pretty
have
well-
3
you got
days
pretty well sorted.
rations.
You only have what?
3
It's-
days rations.
It's 2 days north of Ruavant, so you're gonna
Oh,
need
okay,
at least
so-
2 days worth of rations.
Yeah, but then at Ruavant, are we going to be able to get
At
more
Ruavant,
rations to leave
mean,
Ruavant?
Probably just gonna
depending
go
on what you do
rations.
there, clearly.
So what you're
yeah.
saying is rations is a good idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think spend your money.
Yes.
I was going to
Not
spend
mine,
your money,
though.
but okay.
Ah.
Oh.
So,
What makes you think you have any money?
Not after buying that cheese,
if
honestly.
you guys are going to the makeshift market outside Fort of Falling Embers and you would like to get some rations,
Yes.
you may. It'll cost you 6 silver pieces per
Ugh.
day's worth of rations.
Okay.
Crayoy, our D&D campaign used to have more people in it, but 2
We're
of the
like
players had a
7.
baby, so only one of the players can come. Yeah, and yeah, we used to have other people that have just dropped off. I think pandemic D&D was great because everyone could play.
Yeah.
But now that everyone's got lives again, we play every second week on the stream.
Yes, and we were going to try and get to a fight today, but it didn't quite happen.
It didn't quite happen. We just talk too
No.
much.
So,
Thanks for shouting
Uh,
out, Sheila. Thank you.
you guys can go and get your rations. If there is any other sort of general shopping you would like to do, you can make a shopping list, and we can just do that, like either now or in between streams or next stream.
I was just playing.
Yeah, just if you want basic gear, it's easy enough. Just note that here at this makeshift market, everything might be slightly more expensive than what, say, like the player's handbook might tell you. So if you want to buy something, you have to let me know.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And then you guys want to leave what, today, or rest up and do it tomorrow?
We might as well wait for tomorrow. Have a full day's
I think
travel.
we have to wait till tomorrow. Because otherwise it's weird. That we're following an hour behind the group that just left.
Yep. All right, cool. So
And in
we
case
can
Altan does know something about this.
Yeah. So we can just skip ahead to you guys having your rest. Jean will report back to you that Altan is not familiar with that image either, but he will ask around some of the other soldiers. He doesn't think it's likely, but much like she said, it seemed to be like a full plate helmet with extra adornments. So I mean, it's a common piece of military equipment with slightly unusual adornments.
Mm.
He's got no other meaning attributed to it that he can ascertain. But I will also tell you now, he can go around and he can ask. The answer will be nobody is aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody here can actually tell you anything more about that symbol at this point.
We haven't found out anything about the symbol, have we?
You
I don't
haven't
think-
asked a lot about
No,
it.
we haven't
That's
asked many
nothing
people.
about it.
It's been kind of secret.
It's been one of those things that's been kept very, very quiet. But if you guys so wish, you can have a rest. Well, we can just
Jean?
zip straight through. Oh, no, yep, cool. Hello.
Hello. I was going through my pouches and I found some things that I've collected that
Okay.
I can't use, but you might benefit from.
Ooh.
I don't-
Curiosity got the cat, huh?
And he's going to pull out
Tips his top hat. No?
Knowledge nerd.
the crystals and the glass that he got from the bastion in between.
The ones on the level of the Crimson Warlord?
Yeah.
His floor? Okay.
So there's 4 spherical glass.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 empty crystals.
Yes.
I got
With-
4 continual light crystals, which he'll probably keep because he likes those. And then there's 1 used light stone.
Okay. And I mean, she can identify that, just by looking at it, the used light stone and even the empty crystal, like, the used light stone is a crystal that was ready to be charged with a bit of magic. It was charged with that magic, and then that magic was expended. So
Can it be recharged?
it could potentially be recharged, but you would need to take it to the right person. She might be the right person, but she would have to take some time to do it because she doesn't have the capacity to do it right now. The empty crystals are crystals that are also, they're vessels, they're also ready to be filled with magic. So they're things that are ready to become consumables, but are not consumables yet. The spherical glass, as far as she can tell, because I just rolled the dice before, it's just spherical glass. They're just like marbles with nothing that she can tell. And what else was there?
There was the 4 continual light crystals, but he'll hold
but
on
yeah,
to those.
that's
Which-
pretty obvious what that one is.
Well-
Seeing Vander mention the Bastion. Oh, you go first, though, Vander.
I was just gonna say, do you want the empty crystals and this lightstone? I don't think any of us can or know how to use it, know how to recharge.
I mean, if you're willing to part with them, I'm always ready to have some more crystals that I can infuse. Yeah.
God, she's so excited.
Yeah, of course. You seem to be the best person for that.
Wonderful. Is there anything I can give you in payment?
He likes knives.
He likes
do.
knives.
Whatever you think they are worth. It is honestly, I have no use for them.
Well, give me a moment. And she sort of
Money
pulls.
dagger.
She sort of, gets the whole wrist sort of thing that she's got, and she pops a crystal out. drags it up and then tips it, and then it hovers in the air, and she starts looking through it, and she readjusts it as she looks through those empty crystals. She was just going to have a look at, just going to have a look and see what level of charge they might be able to hold, so I can ascertain the value, and I can reimburse you an appropriate amount. And then she just sort of keeps, ticking along. It's like, would you like it as like a monetary reimbursement? Would you like some commensurate level of magical repayment? I don't have a whole lot on me that I can spare, but I'm sure I can scrounge something up. I might even be able to do something with one of those daggers. If you don't have a magical one and you like daggers so much, I could probably try and fix... Oh, actually, if you give me some time, I can take one of these empty crystals, I can infuse it with a little bit of magic. It will be a limited charge, and I can fuse it to one of the non-magical daggers you have, and maybe be able to create something temporarily magical for you. It will take me some time, and I won't be able to do much else, but if you're willing to have that as a form of payment for these other two, I would quite happily take that.
That sounds good. Unless there is something you can offer Alfred, or Frey, or Seket, or Hetty.
And she sort of swivels her head,
for
and you
this.
sort of see the crystal hover in front of her eye as she sort of looks at the rest of you, and it follows her movement of her head as she looks amongst you. It's like, is there anything else I can help any of you with? It's kind of unnerving seeing this crystal floating in front of her eye as she sort of looks around.
Ray's gonna let out like a big realization, like a revelation. Oh my god.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, but you've got a god of your own.
Ray's gonna like just shuffle through her pockets. She's gonna be like, where is it? She's gonna like shuffle through. She's gonna pull out the red shard that she found at the Bastion.
Okay.
Her Vander pulling out everything from the Bastion that he found, and the DM reminding the player.
Yes. When we did that one shot, I
Periodically.
reminded you that you had it. I couldn't do any. I couldn't sit there and have her have some of these things and not remember. Okay. Give me a sec. And so, what are you doing?
She's just going to hand Jean. I don't know what this is,
Okay.
but it was found in the same place as the things that Vander found.
Ooh, okay. She sort of, puts the crystal, because you guys are still standing out in the middle of the courtyard. So she's sort of trying to find a place to put all these things she's been handed, and they're sort of half disappearing into little, into little nooks on her belt, and then across a little sash and into a pocket, and then she's trying to hand things back to you while she's sort of juggling these other things. And then she sort of picks this bit of glass up and she looks at it like, that's very unusual. I don't think I've ever seen something quite like this. It looks like a... If I had to hazard a guess, I would say it's something from a large reptile that was petrified, but the scale doesn't have petrification on it. It seems to have become glassy instead. Almost as though it was fired in a forge, and all of the life essence was drained out of it. I'm not entirely certain, though. It is an interesting color. And you say you found this in the same place? If we have time, I would love to know more about this place you're in. Which...
It's a very, 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 very long story.
Mm-hmm.
And probably not enough time right now. I would need time to study this. But that would be my first guess. Is that it's initially from some very large reptilian creature that has had some measure of its life force drained away. Because this glass-like aspect, this was once living. There's almost a residue still on it of life force. But it's been siphoned out of it and turned into this glass-like material.
Ray's gonna look horrified remembering that she licked it, and she's gonna be like, oh, I thought it was...
Oh, you remember when you
I'm
said
gonna
you
watch her
wanted to lick
face and
it?
be like,
I was like,
Yeah, I thought it was something bad, that was gonna give me poison or something. I didn't know that it was gonna be...
so without time to study it, Jean can tell you nothing more than that about that particular item. She would need time to study it and to check other things out.
Well, she's a knowledge buff, and that'll probably get her, you know, like the cogs in her mind ticking. Is there any way that, let's say that we're out adventuring, would there be a way for you to contact us while we were out, or would I have to come back?
Me personally, not really. I mean, I could contact the same with the crystal I gave your friend. I could contact Geist and he could get a hold of you, but
Yeah.
he is limited in the amount that he can communicate. So depending on how much I discover, it may not be something that we can just simply have a discussion about because he's going to be having to converse both sides. You can leave it here and I can study it if you would like, or I mean, take it with you, but I would need time, and I don't have an easy means of getting a hold of you personally.
Frey's gonna smile and she's gonna be like, thought it was a piece of glass. I think that it's better suited that you find out what it is.
Oh, right now? And she taps it a couple of times. It is just a piece of glass. But it wasn't. And that's the interesting thing. Are you sure?
Frey's gonna look at everyone else for like reassurance.
I think it's a good idea.
Can't hurt anything.
I can't believe you licked it.
All right, and so she excitedly puts that away in one of her belt pouches as well. And she will lastly look at Nofrit and Hedy. Is there anything I can do to help either of you? One last parting gift, if you will.
I don't suppose you have any information on local changelings.
I mean, there's a changeling in the guard here, but...
Sorry, what?
God damn it, we're never leaving this fort!
Right on this train right now.
Oh, yes!
Of course it fucking is.
Oh.
But they don't like to have it known that they're a changeling, so they pretty much stick to just the one form. I only know because, well, I know things.
Do you? I know this seems very weird, but would it be okay if maybe you could set up a meeting just for tonight?
I could do that. Am I going to tell them what the nature of this meeting is? Because they are sometimes very paranoid, especially about new people.
If you could, maybe mention that. She looks a little panicked at the rest of the party,
Uh-huh.
and then kind of squishes her eyes shut and says, "If you could maybe perhaps tell them that there is a changeling that has only just discovered she's a changeling and would very much like to connect with somebody."
I can do that, but I'm not entirely sure this person would be the best one to talk to. They're not exactly eloquent, shall
It's
we
not
say.
Trina, is it?
I will not confirm nor deny that.
Dear gods.
Insight check.
Inside check!
Go for it.
Wait, when did this food get here? I just grabbed a piece of garlic bread with my full thumb and the...
Manifested.
Quentin must have dropped this off ages ago.
Frey's gonna smile and be like, well, if that's the case, and there is another here,
13.
then we do have time
7.
to talk about the story.
No, she's not confirming or denying.
Bet.
As
Up to
for
you.
me,
Yep. Yes, and she turns her head and you see the crystal go, "Vroom," which she's almost forgotten that it's still there, even though she's not examining objects anymore.
I have a really good guide to potion brewing.
Personally, no. I can't say I ever got into making potions. My fascination, tap, was always somewhere else.
Ray's gonna like, not
And then
friends.
tap on your collarbone,
Ow!
somewhere else.
The potion that we were gonna give to Arthur.
Oh,
Who's the-
no.
Ah.
Well, we can catch up with her tomorrow, probably.
I highly doubt they are very fast travelers.
Or we can retroactively say that you did, either way.
I think it'd be
It's funnier if we
tomorrow.
don't.
Right, yeah, if you don't, yeah. That does track, actually. Alright. So, with that, would you like a meeting with the changeling here or not, Hetty?
Yes, but not tonight. 'cause it's
Not
7.
tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to speed through this and things keep happening.
Sorry.
No,
Next
it's okay.
session. Let's go.
I just scrolled down on my character sheet and was like, wait, I need to talk to Jean.
Yeah. She is a good person for knowledge, so this is the right sort of person to talk to for information, but also not the right person to talk to if you're in a hurry to leave.
The ending of my
for sure.
notes for this session is breaks on the travel train. There is another changeling in this
Oh.
place.
We will close out the session tonight with saying that yes, everybody else has left. You guys have plans to leave in the morning. And before you get your long rest, we're going to have Hetty potentially have a meeting or a conversation with another changeling, which may or may not, but probably definitely is Trina.
I called
We
it.
love her.
Maybe.
That's funny.
Oh, I can't believe the one time I finally remembered to ask like a fucking Kirith Nan person about changelings, and there's actually like something
I gotta
close
say,
at
if
hand.
you guys want to know things, Jean is the person to ask. But
She's
again,
nosy.
She knows things. She likes discovering things. And doesn't consider it being nosy. She just
We
that's-
love a nosy petty queen.
So
Um,
yes, it's a little bit on the later side. I am sorry, Vixen. But we will wrap it up there.
So excited.
Almost.
Vander is going to give the bone dagger that Oswald made for him to Jean as the one
to make
Right.
special. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And I will have to remind myself of that so that we can craft something up. It'll also be a random roll to see how many charges of a thing it's got.
We need to wrap up here, team.
Yes.
So I'm clicking start rate on Peanut Butter Rampage, who has been doing her 1000 celebration stream. It's at after 24 hours. She's still up.
I was gonna say she's been going for hours.
Yeah. I actually played Fortnite with her earlier today. It was
Nice.
fun. She's still playing Fortnite, so we're gonna go say hi just for some fun, and because Peanut Butter is just incredible. I love Paige. Thank you everyone for watching. Stay spicy.
Come back
Stay
next time.
feisty. Yeah, combat.
Hopefully.
No, maybe like
Leave the fucking fort.
like 15 minutes of chatting. Okay, like. All right. Thanks everyone for being here. Sheila, thank you again for the raid. And thanks for all the follows tonight, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.